to today's case study news segment, Palestine, a country fighting for their right to exist as well as their future sustainability. I am your host, Mahtab Golab. Please join me as we take a dive into the life of Palestine, an occupied nation. Thank you. With the establishment of Israel in 1948 and the subsequent Nakba, the genocide also called the Palestinian catastrophe, thousands of Palestinians lost their homes and land. In the event, 750,000 Palestinians were driven into exile, their homes being either destroyed or expropriated by Jewish immigrants. By 1949, the Jewish population, which 2 years earlier had constituted 26% of the population of Mandate Palestine and had owned around 7% of the total land, had now seized 77% of the land and had come to constitute 80% of the population. In the 7 decades that followed, the decline of Palestinian health, land, and engineered frameworks have crumbled as a result of settler colonization. Currently, and for the immediate foreseeable future, there are neither plans to establish an equitable two-state nation nor return occupied Palestinian land to its people. There is a call around the world from nations, international nonprofit organizations, media, and news outlets, as well as activists to support Palestine's right to exist. Through MESH, we are learning the transdisciplinary tools needed to address sustainability injustices around the world. As such, this case study will highlight MESH's role in co-creating solutions with Palestinian people in the forefront. Establishing the socioeconomic and environmental impacts apartheid has had on creating a sustainable infrastructure of healthcare, agriculture, and climate mitigation can be seen most closely through Israel's control of water. This establishment of fear was first introduced in 1948 during the Nakba, when the occupying military poisoned water wells as a means of driving indigenous Palestinians out of their villages for settlers. It was further established in 1967 through Military Order 158. As noted in the Amnesty International report titled "The Occupation of Water," Palestinians could not construct any new water installation without first obtaining a permit from the Israeli army. Since then, the extraction of water from any new source or the development of any new water infrastructure would require permits from Israel, which are near impossible to obtain. They are unable to drill new water wells, install pumps, or deepen existing wells, in addition to being denied access to the Jordan River and freshwater springs. Israel even controls the collection of rainwater throughout most of the West Bank, and rainwater harvesting cisterns owned by Palestinian communities are often destroyed by the Israeli army. Presently, similar tactics of water control are seen in the West Bank, as over 144 communities, approximately 227,000 people, are not connected to water networks. In the last few years, their traditional water sources such as springs and wells have either been depleted as a result of drought, or they unfortunately no longer have access to these water sources due to the closing of large areas for settlements and military zones. More and more vulnerable families and communities are becoming dependent on expensive water purchase tankers. It is estimated that some families are spending more than 25% of their income on drinking water. This exceeds the international affordability rate of 3 to 5% of income. This is, of course, affecting the health and hygiene conditions, and it is also pushing families deeper into the poverty line. When considering the basic needs of a society and its people are not being met in the present, how can one be expected to plan for an equitable, sustainable future? Further archival research will be done throughout this paper on the economic and engineering frameworks that presently shape Palestine, specifically through the lens of global capitalism. Interviews will also be conducted with Palestinian refugees who have expressed interest in sharing their stories. Through this paper and over the next 18 months, the hopes are to bring awareness to the social injustices Palestine is facing and to hold accountable global entities such as the United Nations to stop atrocities committed against Palestinians. As it stands, Palestine is only one of 2 nations without membership to the UN, the second being Vatican City. Access to clean and safe water is a human right that should be denied to no one. Palestinians have a right to their land, to defend their culture and their future generations, and to simply exist.